Welcome, and thank you for joining us for the February Community Connection. I'm Brian Strand. I'm sure you've noticed the large complex going up at the corner of Mississippi Street and University Avenue, where Holly Center stood for over 50 years. And you probably would love to get a look inside. Well, you're in luck.
Today I'm very pleased to have Adam Steffel here with the new Axel Apartments at University Avenue in Mississippi. We've been very anxious to visit this complex. We have had lots of curiosity from residents and folks, other business people, and we're inside today. And Adam, thank you for agreeing to interview, and we're anxious to ask you a few questions about the complex.
Absolutely.
First off, what is it that attracted you to Fridley and this particular location for the apartments?
Sure. We're always out on the look for new redevelopment sites. It's, being able to develop anything on established cities that are in the metro and trying to find, you're not going to find bare land that we can go and build a 260 some unit apartment building on. So being able to find an opportunity where there's redevelopment, where the city's excited about it, the city is ready for an aging asset to be taken down and to have a brand new and exciting project built in its place, is we're ready for that all the time.
To the passive observer, it seems that the site really developed quickly, and it's been incredible to watch how the complex has come together.
Your observation is not wrong. It's gone very well. It's gone very quickly. We are sitting, probably 40 to 60 days ahead of schedule right now. So we will be able to move people in earlier than what we had initially planned for, which is amazing.
Were there other challenges on this site that you found?
The Holly Center was I like to say it was a fairly clean building. Some other buildings that we've been in have been a lot older, a lot more hazardous materials in them that you have to deal with. That slows everything down when you have to do a lot of that abatement work. There was some in there, but it wasn't that bad.
Maybe you would tell us a little bit about some of the amenities that come in this building that would make it very attractive for folks who are looking for a place to live.
Sure, yeah, absolutely. Right now, so we're standing in our library space, so there will be, tables in here, areas for, studying or maybe you want to come down here and play a board game with the kids or do puzzles or things like that. We also have a couple community rooms out in the outdoor spaces. We're going to have a playground area, a playground for the kids, a bocce ball court. We'll have several outdoor grilling stations, things like that. Then back inside here on the main level, we have a conference room that residents can use. We have a Wi-Fi lounge that would be a great work from home space if you are still a work from home person and you're needing to get out of your apartment for a little bit of a change of scenery. You can come down here to the main floor and grab a spot in our work from home lounge and work there. We also have a large community room that residents will be able to take advantage of that space. If they want to have a birthday party for their son or their daughter, they can invite their family over for that birthday party and use our community room. And up on the 4th floor, we have a sky lounge and a sky deck that will overlook Mississippi Street.
Soon there will be leasing folks in here, I think, right?
Yeah, we are leasing right now.
Okay.
Currently, the property is 17% leased.
Oh, it is?
I talked to our leasing team today before I came here, and this week alone, we've signed 6 leases.
Wow.
So if anyone is interested in leasing, you can go to axelapartments.com and fill out paperwork there, get in contact with their leasing people, and they'll take you through the whole process of how that all goes.
We're glad you joined us today. We're going to take you and show you the finished room, the complex, in this complex that folks, you'll get a better sense than of a unit in the building. And thanks again for joining us. Danielle is the leasing manager for this complex. And Danielle, thanks for having us today and showing us a unit. Could you maybe tell us a little bit about what's the mix between studios, 1 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms?
We have units ranging anywhere from alcoves up to 3-bedroom apartment homes. We have a good variety of everything.
There's already people that are leasing, that have signed up to lease.
Yes,
And
yes,
that's
we are
wonderful.
17% leased, so it's going very well. We're getting tons of traffic and lots of leads coming in. So,
Oh, that's great. Well, maybe you could show us just a little bit about what is drawing those folks in. Tell us about the unit itself.
Sure. So the unit itself, obviously you have all brand new stainless steel appliances. You'll have flat panel white kitchen cabinets in every single unit, the subway tile backsplash, and of course your granite countertops. So obviously there's tons of storage in each kitchen. And of course the vinyl plank floors are a big feature as well. Not only do they look really nice, but they're very durable as well. And then you have your walkout balcony here. We do still just need to put the railings up, but it'll have a set of stairs, so it'll have its own entrance as well. And every single bedroom will include a ceiling fan, which I absolutely love. And then it walks through nicely to the walk-in closet here, which your washer and dryer will be inside. So it's super convenient to have your laundry located all in one place here in the closet. You have plenty of shelving, and then it has a really good flow to it where it goes into the bathroom here too. So you've got nice deep tubs and tons of storage in the vanity as well.
We'll probably have more questions as we get closer to that day that the doors open and everyone's moving in. But for now, I think you've answered a lot of questions that our audience has had, and it's been really nice to have you take that time for us.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
Yeah.
I guess the last, I would just plug again that last, for any questions that anyone may have, just like I said, check out our website, axelapartments.com, and that'll be the source to get a hold of our leasing staff as well, and they'll be able to answer everything and anything you may have.
The process of upgrading Fridley's city parks is moving along, but it's still in the planning phase. Both of the citizens' committees have completed their work, and recommendations have been sent along to the City Council.
Hi, I'm Mike Mayer, Director of Community Services for the City of Fridley, and I've got some updates on where we're at with our Park System Improvement Plan. For about the last 2 years, we as city staff have been working very closely with residents of Fridley to reimagine Fridley's park system. And we've taken some important steps over the past year or so that I can detail for you at this time. We've been working very closely with a consultant, WSB, and in the spring of 2021, we went out into the community with a set of kind of revised park concept plans. So kind of a nice sketch showing what each of our city's 38 parks could look like if we were to invest into the park system. So shows things like new trails, updated playgrounds, new courts, new amenities shown throughout our park system. And with these plans, we got those out into the community on the City of Fridley's website through an interactive story map. We went out to community meetings and shared them and had hundreds and hundreds of conversations with residents. With all the feedback that we got on the website and through these conversations and presentations, we were able to make some refinements to these park concept plans. So we were able to show them to the community and sometimes right in their own neighborhood and find out what residents liked and what they wanted to see change. So with that process, we went through a refinement of each of these park concept plans to reflect what we heard from the community. With all that information, we went back to the residents in the summer of 2021 through Fridley's Town Hall and gave a presentation on where we were at with the park system. And what we heard from residents was that they liked the improvements that they were seeing in the concept plans. And through the town hall meeting and also through a resident survey that was held, we heard from residents that there was generally a willingness to invest into the park system. Hearing that, our city council in the fall of 2021 asked us as staff to get together a couple of resident advisory groups. So these two task force groups went to work throughout the fall of 2021 and into the winter and helped us to refine the park system plans. So when we first started out and we looked at these 38 park plans and all the different improvements that could happen throughout the park system, we were looking at about a $50 million plan. Our council listened to residents and directed us as staff to work with the task force group to refine the $50 million of park improvements down to a plan that could be implemented in 10 years and would not cost the community more than $30 million. So I worked very closely with the what we called the Refinement Task Force. So this was a group of 14 residents that looked at each of the plans and talked through them, looked at what feedback we'd already gotten from residents, and helped us to determine what the priorities were in the park system improvement plan. So that group helped to refine the park system plan, and we took that recommendation from that group of what the priorities were in the park system to the city council meeting here in January of 2022, and the council received the recommendation of the Park System Improvement Plan Task Force. We're working on getting all of this information up on the City of Fridley website, so over the next couple of weeks, residents will be able to get back on and see these refined concept plans that have all been updated and refreshed, and be able to see the kind of the implementation priority schedule. So we had this refinement task force that was working on actually looking at the park plans. At the same time that group was working, there was a separate group of residents and business owners in the community that we called the finance task force. And this group of residents went through a similar process as the park plan refinement task force, but their charge from the city council was to talk about how we could fund these park improvements here in our community. And so they talked through a variety of different options, and in December of 2021, that group brought forth a recommendation to the city council, which was received by the council on the December 20th, 2021 meeting, which is recommending a course of action where the city would issue a series of bonds to pay for about $20 million of park system improvements, and the city would use existing funds to pay for an additional $10 million of park system improvements, again, over a 10-year period. So none of these actions have been formalized. They've just been recommendations that have been received by the council. In order to proceed with the park system improvement plan, we plan on holding public meetings and public hearings to be able to share these plans with the community and give the community opportunities to share their feedback with us. So stay tuned for those dates. We would expect those to come out in the spring or early summer of 2022. So stay tuned for more details on progress for the Park System Improvement Plan. And residents are always welcome to reach out to me with any questions or comments on our park system, and I'd be happy to chat with you, hear your ideas, and hear your feedback. So appreciate the opportunity to share, and I hope everybody has an opportunity to get out and enjoy Fridley's wonderful parks. Thanks so much.
If you're looking for a different way to explore our trails here at Springbrook this winter, come on in and rent a pair of our snowshoes. They're $5 a pair, and we can fit sizes anywhere from little kids all the way to adults. Just keep in mind that we do need to have at least 3 inches of snow on our trails to be able to use them, and going on our water is not safe whether you have snowshoes or not. If you would like a guided adventure at night here at Springbrook, we do have our lantern light hikes coming up. We have 3 this winter, January 7th, March 11th, and February 11th. And you can register and enjoy our lighted trails from 6:30 to 8 p.m. If we have snow, we'll also rent snowshoes. And if we don't have snow, then we'll just enjoy a nice hike here at night in the trails. Bye.
Are you thinking about an electric vehicle? Are you wondering about how you would fuel up? Rachel Workin talks about chargers in this installment of Electric Vehicles.
Today is our 3rd installment talking about electric vehicles, or EVs. Check out our previous videos in the EV series on the EV charger at the Civic Campus and our interview with a Fridley family that uses an electric car and a plug-in hybrid electric car for all of their driving. In today's episode, we'll be doing a deep dive into EV charging options in the city of Fridley. How you refuel is obviously the biggest difference between driving an electric car and a car with an internal combustion engine. While we're used to spending 10 minutes at a gas station to fuel up, EV charging is easier in that you can do it at home or while you're out shopping for groceries. Let's check out some of the different charging options here in Fridley. There are 3 types of EV charging options, Level 1 and Level 2, which both rely on AC power, and a third option called DC fast charging, which uses DC power. If you buy an electric vehicle, it will come with a cord that plugs into a standard wall outlet. On average, this cord provides 2 to 5 miles of charge per hour. If you don't drive very much, you may be able to get away with just plugging the cord into your existing 120-volt wall outlet in your garage. For example, the bolt used by the city's Community Development Department has a range of 260 miles. If I drive 10 miles around the city and then plug it into the Level 1 120-volt wall outlet overnight, I'll be back to a full 260-mile charge by the time I'm ready to drive it the next day. But if I'm driving 50 miles a day, I won't be able to recoup that charge overnight using just a wall outlet, and will eventually run the battery down to 0. So I'll probably need to supplement with a faster charger every now and then. You can get a faster charge using a Level 2 charger or a DC fast charger. Level 2 chargers use 240-volt power and provide 20 to 30 miles of charge per hour. Some EV owners choose to upgrade the electrical service in their garage so that the existing plug provides a higher level of power, similar to a plug for a dryer. This can be really easy depending on where your existing electrical box is and its capacity. Xcel Energy currently has a program where you can also purchase or rent a low-cost Level 2 charger and then pay a lower electric rate on the power. You can learn more about this program at ev.xcelenergy.com. You can also find many Level 2 chargers out in the community. For example, this charger at the Fridley Civic Campus or the charger at the Spring Lake Park Hy-Vee. Don't worry that you'll have to be making special trips to charge though. Most EV owners do more than 80% of their charging at night in their home in small increments rather than going from empty to full like with gas. The third option is a DC fast charger, like this one at the Fridley Goodwill. These charging stations usually provide 80 to 90 miles of charge per hour, but newer stations are being developed that can provide more than 100 miles in 15 minutes, depending on the vehicle's battery. These types of chargers are great for when you're on long trips where you need to go from 0 to a full charge very quickly. But how do you know where EV chargers are located? You can find EV chargers on many mapping sites like Google Maps, but one of the most comprehensive resources is plugshare.com. Plugshare is a crowdsourced website that allows you to sort by charger type, price, and amenities, and also has a trip planning tool so that you can plan on where you'll be able to charge during multi-100-mile road trips. You can learn more about Plugshare and other resources for electric vehicles at driveelectricmn.org.
I'm Nancy Apps, the Associate Planner for the City of Fridley. One of my projects has been working with the Housing and Redevelopment Authority on our loan and grant programs. You might be familiar with the loan programs from past years. We offer a variety of options for people to finance interior and exterior improvements at a low fixed rate. What's new for 2021 has been our grant programs. We offer homeowners reimbursement for a variety of interior and exterior projects, things like remodeling, moving walls, fixing up bathrooms or kitchens, as well as exterior front door, landscaping, new driveways, and sidewalks. You're eligible to receive a portion of those funds back as a grant if you apply prior to completing your project. They've been a very popular offering this year. We've had over 100 folks apply for funding, so we're excited to be able to offer these again in 2022 as well. If you've been around town, you may have noticed yard signs for the front door grant program. They list our website, fridleymn.gov/frontdoor. You can visit that website for more information about what's being offered this year. And you can come back in early January of 2022 to apply for future applications. It's never too soon to start thinking about projects for next year. We offer a free visit with a remodeling advisor, as well as an opportunity to finance your projects ahead of time through our loans. If you have any questions, please visit our website, fridleymn.gov/home loans, for more information about our loan and grant programs. You can also give me a call here at City Hall.
Springbrook's spring project was many years in the making. The updates at Springbrook Nature Center are complete. Let's take a look at the Spring Projects program we produced back in 2020.
Most cities can't boast about having a nature preserve with the programming and the facilities that we now have here today.
We were very pleased with the ongoing and outreach of the community to support this project.
If we hadn't had volunteers, we really wouldn't have all the things that we have here today.
So many people came together to make the project a reality.
Saya St. Clair, the former director of Springbrook Nature Center, had sort of said Springbrook is being loved to death, and so we need to think about what happens when the population, the use of Springbrook continues to grow.
And having that increase in visitation then made us start to look at, boy, we didn't really plan on having this many people come out to this park, and what are we going to do to assure that people can still come out here and even more people can still come out, and yet the park itself can sustain that kind of use.
I think we're at a critical time where environmental education is just an essential part of the education of young people. A connection to nature is an essential part of our lives today. I think that's really the important role that Springbrook plays, is that we are sort of that gateway to nature.
Well, the process of going from what we used to have 15 years ago to what we now have today is awesome. I mean, it's like night and day.
The key partnerships, I think, were really between the Springbrook Nature Center Foundation and the City of Fridley.
And I knew we had a real challenge ahead of us to raise all that money for the spring project. So over the course of my first couple of years, we kind of went through the process of refining the spring project and exactly what it would be.
Everybody on the Springbrook Nature Center Foundation is a volunteer. And so as a component of that, they were out working with City Council and working with the state legislature to try to get funding and try to help us get projects and activities like that.
We were successful at the legislature of getting $5 million. The $5 million was through the bonding legislation. It took us about 10 years to get that approved, but in 2014 that was approved.
I think that the success is actually a product of just continuing on, perseverance. Never say die. We just kept at it until they finally said yes.
As a grant writer, it's important to inform the grantee, or the donor, what it is that Springbrook has to offer, our record of success and the wonderful programs that we have provided, and then have a concrete program that you're asking funding for.
The community's been a wonderful supporter of the Springbrook Nature Center, and there's been about $2 million given by corporations, both as cash and as in-kind contributions. We've also had close to 500 individuals who've donated about $500,000 to $600,000 since 2014.
The Fridley Lions were very instrumental in the success of the benefits here that you see today at Springbrook Nature Center. With $300,000 donated from that organization alone over the last 6 years, their generosity was wonderful.
All this involvement from community organizations like the Fridley Lions to local businesses all coming together, and to me it really sort of validated the important role that Springbrook plays in the community. We've already seen some big changes in our ability to have more programs and different types of programs to better serve the communities. A few examples of that is we have the beautiful new amphitheater. That amphitheater space has allowed us to serve as a community gathering space and to offer different types of programs that we just couldn't offer before. We just didn't have an appropriate space. The nature play space that we've added has really given us a space that people come back to again and again, and it's also created a destination.
I think the pavilion is really going to enhance the appeal of Springbrook. The old pavilion didn't even have outlets. So if you wanted to have a picnic and you were going to bring your crock pot, there was no place to plug it in. And so this is just going to be wonderful for picnics. It'll be great for craft projects that are a little messy. And I think it's really going to be a great addition to the spring project.
All of these changes that have occurred over these years, and especially in these last few years to Springbrook, make Springbrook much more able to serve the community in a much more multi-dimensional way.
You know, it's been a wonderful experience of community support and community action to contribute to the Nature Center.
It took a lot of people with a lot of vision and a lot of perseverance to make this happen.
The Spring Project has positioned us to be able to serve the community now and for generations to come.
Join Fridley Liquor and the Fridley Lions at Banquets of Minnesota on February 25th for their 14th annual Winter Warm-Up Taste Testing event. The cost is $35 in advance and $50 at the door, with all proceeds raised from the event returning to the Fridley area. For more information, go to the Fridley Lions website at fridleylions.org. That's it for this month's Community Connection. Be sure to subscribe to email updates and follow the City of Fridley on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and Twitter. I'm Brian Strand, and thank you for watching Fridley Municipal Television. This has been a production of Fridley Municipal Television. Thanks for watching.